So close, weren't we? So close. We were so close. Verd, Verd, we were so close. Damn it. Verd, your mic's mute.
I'm saying I'm going to quietly kill myself now.
We're getting it in Brazil. We're getting
For
it in
fuck's
Brazil.
Well,
sake, man. For fuck's sake. What the fuck is this problem?
look, at the end of the day, I mean, they gave it a good shot, but again, he's competing against
An illegal
the Red
car.
the Red Bulls just that much better. There was nothing he could do
To
today.
be
Even
honest,
if
he was never in the.
he was never in the running for the win anyway.
Yeah,
You,
it was always
you,
going to be P2. It's just that Red Bull's fuck up gave us
yeah, gave us
the
a glimmer of
glimmer
a
of
hope,
hope, and then it's just.
and then just yeah, man, I can't. You know what? We just take the P2. I didn't. Ah, God damn it, man. We were so close. It was just too many laps. It was just too many laps for him to hold on to that.
It's
It was
not.
just
It's just not right. It's not right.
nah, why not? I mean, that's life, man. That's sports. At the end of the day, we just have to you know, we just have to just take it.
Oh, for
Just
fuck's
have to.
sake.
He came close. He gave it. He gave it a good run. They gave it a good shot. So there's not much they can do outside of that. They just have to just take it. Oh,
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that there's still some hope for.
hmm?
There's still some hope for this Mercedes, whatever this concept is.
Of course there is. Because I mean, he literally outpaced Charles. Charles had no pace for Lewis today. He literally, easily, comfortably was ahead of Charles on pure pace. No matter which, when they were on the same set of tires, he was quicker. Even with the offsetting tires, Lewis was still quicker than Charles. So I think
It's just wrong, man. It's not right. It's just not right. Come on, man. It's not
why
right.
is
It's
it not
not
right?
fair.
Why is it not right?
Because it was just right there. It was,
Yeah, it was.
for fuck's sake, it was right there.
We were close. We were close. We were close. We were close. Yeah, we were close. We were close. I mean, you can't. I mean, a Mercedes that
I
was a
mean,
little bit quicker, he probably would have given up given a better fight. But yeah,
I mean, just Mercedes being quicker, or probably them also
hmm?
having a little, because Mercedes actually banged on the strategies this time around.
Yeah, the strategies work. But at the end of the day, I mean, the strategy was pretty much straightforward. It's the only card they had to play, and it only again if Red Bull had a cleaner stop, he would have just waltzed off into the distance. It would have been another boring race. So I think if anything, the race was only interesting because Red Bull messed up Max's pit stop. Outside of that, it would have been a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I mean, once they got the opportunity, they went for it. They tried. Lewis drove as hard as he possibly could, but the W13 just lacked. I mean, on average, I think it was probably about half a second, a lap slower than the Red Bull. So, I mean, in some ways, that's some sort of progress you can look at in comparing where they were coming from at the start of the season. So, and
Nah, but
go on.
I'm in pain, man. So close.
Yeah.
So
you know what?
close. You know what would be nice? If Leclerc could have do a better job to fight Verstappen and make him mash up them tires, because when it comes to the medium versus hard, the medium's only got a certain amount of life before they go off again. I'm just like, Charles, why couldn't you just do a better job? Like, for fuck's sake, that's all you had to do. Do a better job. let this brother just win a race. Let
I
him
think
win a one
think
race. God damn it, man. Jesus Christ. And they brought
No,
Charles
no,
upgrades to
Leclerc
the
is absolutely pathetic.
no,
look,
but you know,
it
but you know
hurts.
what?
It
His
hurts. We
race
were
win.
so close. So
His
close. I was gonna jump up and down, bustle a bottle of champagne and say, yes, we won a race with this
To be
I was
dog
fair,
shit
thinking
car
I was
that
Mercedes
we
did
thinking
got.
not
very
give them a chance.
I was
Mercedes did not give Lewis a chance at
no,
all.
what do you
no, but
mean? What do you,
Brakes
what
honestly,
needed to get
that
fixed before the race, and then
what do you
they
mean?
don't put him on the mediums on that final pit
We
stop.
Nah,
did that,
but
they
but
did,
I
they
no,
didn't
we
have
didn't have a set
an
of
extra
mediums.
medium. They didn't have. They had two hards and one medium. They didn't have an extra
So there
medium.
was
Well,
nothing
what I
ready.
straight up and
mean is
down.
that they didn't take care of enough sets to where we could have had a scrub set or something that we could have saved and
But
pulled out at that
hindsight is
point.
a
But
No,
one.
but
Hindsight is
their strategy was always going using two hards rather than two mediums.
yeah, but
Oh, I'm just
I
gutted,
don't know.
man.
at the
No,
end,
but
it's
Mercedes
just like
Mercedes didn't give him a chance.
I think their win would still might come, dude. I think that it's still.
Nah,
yeah.
I don't. I personally, I don't think so. That was the last upgrade that they brought in it, so
So
I
Upgrade
don't.
another one.
The
Upgrade
main piece
another.
of it, they weren't even
Yeah,
allowed to run
yeah,
because of
that
exactly.
wasn't
illegality.
the wing wasn't the main piece of the upgrade. The main piece of the
Nah, but I
upgrade
think
was the
Now the
floor.
floor was the
the
main piece.
the floor was the main piece that they brought in it. That was the last
Yeah, the floor
piece
was the
that
main
they
piece.
was.
But
Well,
Yeah,
they said
the
it
floor was the
worked.
main
They
piece.
said it worked.
the front wing would have been
The,
nice to use, but we won't know about that
Well,
until I guess
yeah,
they legalize.
Mike Elliott said the wing didn't really give them wasn't really that much of a big deal anyway. It's not where the performance was going to come from. It
Mike
was
Elliott's also the guy that designed this car.
yeah. So he's more qualified in telling us what is what.
So
they need to get. They
So
need to
who?
do something next
So
year, man. In terms of they need to. What Mercedes need to do next year is focus on straight line speed for next year. That's what they need. That's
and
what they need.
don't you
They
think
seriously need that
don't you
straight
think?
line speed, man.
But I can never understand when people say this is what Mercedes needs to focus on. Like
They
don't
need to focus on the
dude.
straight line
But
speed, my brothers. Like,
don't you think they know that?
Sector 2 alone killed them in this race.
But
exactly.
don't you think they know that? They know
Well, I hope
all
so.
we're saying they need to do. I'm
I
sure.
hope so.
Mike, did you listen to the Beyond the Grid interview with Mike Elliott?
Nah, what was he saying?
Go and find it on YouTube and listen to it. You'll
He
understand.
said they knew when they had a problem with that car in development.
Oh,
No,
for
that's not
fuck.
what he said. That's not what he said. That's not what he said. Don't do that, Joe. That's not what he said. He said when they knew there was something wrong after they did the shakedown at Silverstone after the reveal.
Yeah.
But it's something they couldn't. It's something that was designed into the car that they can't fix due to the current budget constraints and whatnot. So it's something they have to build remove out of the car during the winter.
Well,
Well,
I know they'll get it done, but today I'm just I can't be upset. You know,
why
he
would you be
started
upset? What would you
Q3
be upset over? They didn't.
because he didn't know because that pussy old car never blow up or something. I was rooting for it. I wanted something happen to Max Verstappen's car. You don't understand. The guy's a cheater. The team's a cheat. I don't care what that fucking Batu man Christian Horner said. Pardon my language.
Dude, be careful.
Sir,
Be careful, dude.
sir.
Be careful.
Yeah. Listen, I don't care about what their team principal said. I wanted something to happen to that car, Max Verstappen's car today.
That's a different.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a different
The
thing.
advantage that they carried over from 2021 after it's now become apparent that they didn't honor the budget constraints, then it's painfully obvious to see what they've gained from that. And even Ferrari themselves, they're just like looking at that car and how it came out of the box, as good as it was after they had the battle with Mercedes and Lewis last year. I mean, come on, it couldn't have been more apparent that something was amiss.
But you also have to admit, Ferrari tend to go backwards when they start the season and develop a car. So, you know,
that's true. The way that car fell out today, that's proof of that. You're right.
Has Red Bull kicked on or Ferrari just falling back? Because Ferrari is closer to Mercedes now than they are to Red Bull.
Yeah, seeing Charles just drop away like that at the end of that race. Yeah, that's proof enough of that.
So
You're right.
So they've actually fallen back from the Red Bull in per se to saying Red Bull has actually kicked on, but Red Bull still has a margin. I think the Ferrari is a car over a lap, but once it gets into a race, it's a different thing. It's rubbish. It's absolutely rubbish.
But what kills it now is that because my man died from Red Bull, they're suspending conversations till the weekend. It's like, I'm sorry, but what the hell? Listen, I'm going to be heartless and say this, but okay, yes, he died.
But that I mean,
unfortunately for him, my man died, but we have a job to do. Let's continue to do the job.
The postponement of the whole thing doesn't really make any sense to me, because at the end of the day, you know,
it don't make no sense.
If they can go racing, then you can negotiate. You can actually go
exactly.
And
you know what I'm saying? It's just
racing is business. Racing is the ultimate most
and there shouldn't be any negotiating. It's a simple matter of, this is your penalty. You're taking it, yes or no. If you say no, okay,
exactly,
we're pushing it. End of
it's
story.
just being rubbish from the FIA. It's just like every excuse under the sun. And this is why I said to you, Thanos, this president now, he has to look at himself. If they don't do what is necessary, the president has to look at himself and obviously resign.
He's not going to resign, dude.
He has to, bro. He has to. They're taking liberties. They are. Listen, at the end of the day, it's one thing. They've delayed this. Now this guy has died. I'm saying, like, yes, condolences to his family, but what the hell has that got to do with the team? The team are still racing. The team are still, they're still out here. They're racing, but you want to suspend negotiation. FIA is just finding every Tom, Dick, and Harry not to find Red Bull. Not necessary.
Let's see what happens. All right, hold on. Gary, what's up?
Hey, everybody. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, as far as, like what y'all were just talking about, as far as Muhammad resigning and all that, that is most likely not going to happen. I mean, that's about as likely to happen as them taking away the 2021, World Drivers' Championship. They just don't have. There's no leverage against them. Like I tweeted something back at you earlier today, Thanos. I think one of the reasons, like with the whole cheater thing that kind of blew up a little bit on Twitter, the reason why you're not really seeing too much traction here in the U.S. as far as accountability toward the FIA and F1 is because it's not really picked up on by a lot of the sports talk shows here. Like F1 doesn't even come across the shows that come on Fox Sports or ESPN. Like it literally only comes across during race time. Like it goes from Sports Center to the race. Other than that, the majority of sports fans in America don't pay attention to Formula One, to be quite honest with you. The other thing is, I think just in general, the fan base hasn't taken this fight to the sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
We've been tweeting and subtweeting the FIA, Sky Sports, and F1, but nobody's really tweeting at AWS, at Petronas, like the sponsors. And it's not really affecting the marketability of F1. So for them, the show is just going to go on. And like somebody had kind of compared punishment to other leagues where it's a little different. Like if you take the NFL, there's 32 owners. So if one team steps out of line, there's 31 other people who have a vested interest in making sure that that guilty party is actually held accountable. Where in F1, you really only have 8 other, parties who have a vested interest. And moving forward, the minute Red Bull powertrains is fully online and they have customers, they're going to be even more powerful.
I don't know. I don't think that the only thing is going to do it. That Red Bull powertrain isn't going to materialize.
I'm talking about their political influence over the FIA. I'm not talking about its performance. I'm talking about their political influence. Unless the only thing that is going to derail the FIA bias toward Red Bull is if Ferrari and Mercedes take their ball and go home. If they say, you know what, we're pulling out of F1, we're going to go all in on endurance racing or Formula E, like something else, and it really needs to be something that's not tied to the FIA. Like when you really look at all of these other leagues, I mean, even NASCAR, there's like 20, 30, 40 teams in freaking NASCAR. So a Richard Childress Racing or Stewart Haas, like you really can't have that much power when there's a lot more seats at the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this shit is honestly just gonna get worse. To be honest with you.
Well, I don't know what to say about that, but I do think you have a point where you said probably because there's no F1 isn't really discussed that much on talk sports channels in the US. A lot of these things don't, the pressure isn't that great on the on the FIA to do certain things. But again, we just have to wait and see what comes of this whole Cashgate thing. Hopefully, but it's not much expectation of anything reasonable. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Anyway.
No, and no matter how Mickey Mouse this penalty is, I can tell you right now, the Colin Cowhers, the Nick Rice, the Shannon Sharps, the Stephen A. Smith, they are not going to discuss it, even though.
You're going off. You're going off, Gary. I can't hear Gary. He's gone off. E, what's up?
Yo, what's up? I'm not gonna talk about the whole situation going off today's race, but yeah, what a race that was, man! It's a good race. Did you guys enjoy it?
I mean,
it was a good race.
What made it a good race?
Obviously, the few incidents that brought the pack together again.
No,
if that didn't happen, then I don't think Verstappen would have lost the lead.
What made it actually, Red Bull made the race interesting.
Fucking up.
Yeah, I mean, if they did a better pit stop, Max just drives off into the distance.
Fair enough. But Lewis was hanging on though, even before he boxed. It was like 1.6, 1.7.
Yeah.
Even before Mercedes decided to do the aggressive thing. That was good.
I see people complaining that Mercedes' strategy was wrong. And I'm thinking, well, they had to try something because they were never going to beat Max on pure pace. So they had to
I think the strategy was good.
They had to try the undercut at some, they had to try something because on pure pace, he was never going to beat him. So I still can't I don't understand the rationale people saying they were wrong. They pitted him out in traffic.
I think why people are saying that is because Mercedes they were expecting a more race that of friction, that the tires were going to burn out like last year faster, so they had to save the two hard tires. If they had a spare medium tire available, that is the better tire to go in those.
It wouldn't have made any difference.
It would have made a difference.
It wouldn't have.
It would have made
no,
I think
because
so,
he still doesn't catch him. Even if he has
Max would have still won the race. Max still had Lewis on pace. Medium.
You can even see when Lewis had DRS.
Max had the pace on him, so it wouldn't have really made a difference.
I feel it would have been different because the hard tire, Lewis couldn't even bring that tire to temperature. He was losing it a lot of time. If he had a medium tire, he obviously would have been matching them. When Ferrari and Red Bull were fighting to burn their tires there, Lewis would have created more gap, and then you take Max and White to cover that back.
But then if you look at the
even if he creates that gap, I think Verstappen still won the race.
If you look at the first stint, they were both on the same age tires, and Max put 5 seconds on it before the pit stop.
Yeah.
And with a lighter car and a much better, the Red Bull is an overall better package. So even on the same tires, Max would still have caught him and passed him. Lewis would have run out of tires first because Lewis started to run.
He would have probably caught Lewis, because at the same time, it would have probably happened in the last couple of laps of the race.
He would have taken him further into the final laps to catch him, but at least it would make a race out of
it. Even if he has the medium tires on, like I still feel like even if that gap is still 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 9 seconds, wherever you want to put it, I still feel like Verstappen would have caught him. There's enough laps in it.
No, I think if the gap was 8 or 9 seconds, I don't think Max would have caught him on one.
But then again, 14 laps
he would have caught him on like the last couple of laps, but at the same time, it would have been a much more contested last couple of laps.
Exactly my point.
And I'm not gonna bring this rivalry back, man. That was a good few laps when they were chasing each other.
It was the race was only interesting because Red Bull screwed up. I think Red Bull did a better pit stop. Yeah. Again, it would have been a simple, boring processional race.
Well, that's
fine.
And I'm not gonna lie.
Agreed.
You're there to pick up the pieces when other team fails.
Yeah, and they did the best they could. I mean,
and I don't agree with
we can't fault them for what they did. They worked they took the opportunity available to them, but they just wasn't quick enough. It's that simple. They just weren't quick
They
enough.
had tires.
I don't think that
had
there
Even,
was.
tire was the
even
problem.
with the medium tires, they weren't
I
quick
believe
enough.
with the medium tire.
Kingsley.
I'll wait for the debrief.
In
I
a
think
in a
with the
in a
medium tire
fair
was better.
in a very same tire to same tire stint competition, the Red Bull has too much speed at the moment. They're just
Yeah.
so much further ahead.
Thank
That
you.
So
W13
it
had
needed
no hits
some.
in sector 2.
So it either needed a strategy offset, or it needed something like what happened to Max today, to have that chance again. And although it doesn't seem that obvious that it can happen, but I still believe that this track was bumpy, and the new suspension and the whatever changes they brought to make it more compliant still worked, right? So it's a bumpy track. There will be tracks which are slightly less bumpy. There's just 3 left, but there is still a chance, and I don't think that it's all over yet.
You have more faith than I don't think we can win a race this season because the tracks that are coming up, we don't even have a feel of it.
No, it's not all over yet. No.
Kingsley, let's try and be optimistic. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look good, but you know what?
Being optimistic is going to kill you. Optimism is going to kill you.
Nobody was optimistic when they came to Kota as well, dude. They were
at least they came with some vibes. They had upgrade. We think it was going to work.
Those upgrades will still work on the next track, right? Like they will still work on the next track.
In the qualifier, no, Mexico has never been a strong suit. Then you go to Brazil. Red Bull is going to dominate that track. And then where?
Mexico, yeah.
Abu
oh
Dhabi,
my God,
Abu Dhabi,
you lot are going to struggle, Mexico. That's straight on the first sector.
But in Mexico, the drag doesn't really bother you. Because the air density. Remember, in Mexico they run the highest. They run like Monaco level.
Yeah, they run the highest downforce because
high altitude.
So because it's
but even at that, the Red Bull straight line speed is going to kill everybody.
Yeah, even today you could tell. Even when Lewis had DRS on him, the guy was not getting any closer.
Yeah.
But just to wrap up,
because like Horner said last time, it takes a good driver to drive the curves. It's easy to drive a straight line.
That's true.
Anyone can drive a straight line, right?
At the beginning, I'm still thinking George wasn't really wrong for what happened at the beginning. What the hell was Sainz doing turning back in? Like, what the fuck?
No, I think Sainz didn't expect somebody coming in there.
No, but still, like it's the first lap of the race.
Even from a Mercedes side, even from a Mercedes side, I'll say that okay, fine. That 5 seconds was fair.
I think he got.
It was marginal, but it was fair given what happened.
I think that what really annoyed me was the Gasly penalty.
Oh, the Gasly one, and comparing it to Perez 3 times. That's so much crap.
That's
Perez did it 3 times last time around, and he got 5 seconds. Gasly did it once and gets 10 seconds.
Perez got 3 warnings. Perez got 3 warnings. Gasly didn't get
but he got 1 penalty and 2 warnings, right? For 3 occasions, he got 2 warnings, 1 penalty, right? And Gasly did it once, he got 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a...
Make it make sense, man. Red Bull has some kind of plot armor going on that you can just not touch them whatsoever. They're like, the cheaters in the budget cap, and the FIA has to support them at every single point of time. It's insane.
But Alonso, how did he finish that race? Because I thought the race was over when he ran into the back of Stroll. Like, what they used to make that Alpine? What's it made out of?
He was in the air. So I don't know how the fuck he finished the race.
No, the Alpine is a funny car. It breaks down suddenly for no reason, but slam it in the ground, push it into the wall, it's fine.
Yeah,
it breaks down sometimes just if you speak near it.
But he was in the air. How did he not get suspension damage though? What the fuck?
Man, Alpine is a joke, man. Sometimes it breaks down so easily, but this time it was robust as fuck.
Yeah.
Alonso is not 6th, Alonso is 7th. Lando beat him.
Vettel drove a good race, and I think
Seb should have been. Aston Martin are not serious, man.
Stroll was actually having a good race as well until that incident. I think he was doing quite well. But going back to your question in regards to the Sainz thing, I mean, I don't even know how to rule that one. I don't know if it was
And
his
George
fault
was
or
at fault.
George's
There's
fault.
no way to do that. Personally, I feel George was at fault there.
No
He
way I can give George a pass on that. That was his
There's no
fault
way.
entirely.
Nah, that's not
Even
George's
if
fault, man. That's not
It's
George's
even if
fault.
even if
No
It's
way.
fifty-fifty.
You
fully
can't.
Sainz's
It's
fault,
No
bro.
way.
Chill.
50-50.
You don't turn back
even
It's
if
in.
you're even if the driver in front of you is making a mistake, it doesn't mean you have to run into him. I
No, he
think
doesn't
what's
run into him though.
No,
He's racing
Kingsley,
Lewis.
he
Kingsley. How you
ran.
mean?
No, he
He
doesn't
said,
run into him. Why? Yeah, but why is Sainz
where
turning
was
back
he
in?
gonna go?
You're
Where
second
was George
place.
gonna go? Where was George gonna go?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Where's
Yeah,
George
he
gonna
uses his
go?
brake.
And I'm
What
not
you
gonna lie,
guys are forgetting is that
Sainz should know it. It's the first
George
lap.
already
Someone could
All
see
locked
that.
right,
up. Wait, wait.
Sainz was
Hold on.
already angry.
people.
Yeah,
George
he
already
hesitated,
locked
man. You
up
can
his
see that
front tire.
hesitation.
He was no longer
When he
in
was
control.
there,
He locked up
like,
his front tire.
man
He was no longer in
hesitated, where it's
control.
just like he was so far up.
People, we're going to the hand system. Everyone's talking at the same time. So I need the hands to start going up now. Time to get serious. Hands up. If you want to say something, let's get the palms them up. All right. So first palm up. We're going with Starlord, then E, and then Anthony. Star Charger, I think. Star Charger. Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So, yeah, first lap incident. Can't quite say I give George a pass, but at the same time, and looking at it in retrospect, now that I've had a couple of different chances to take a look at it, 5 seconds, I thought, okay, originally I thought it was light, but then after taking another couple of looks at it, I mean, when you look at the way Carlos Sainz did come down on the track, and it was the first turn, everyone's jockeying for position. He's trying to defend against Max. He's trying to get his line. And then, of course, George Russell coming down at the bottom. There was not really much area where George could go, but at the same time, the fact that George just T-bones right into him, that's one of those kinds of moments where, it sucks being a steward, but at the same time, the 5 seconds, I can understand that because at the end of the day, Sainz's race was run just from that contact. But just in general, as far as the race goes, well, we've been basically saying it throughout the course of the space. Well, as far as I've been in it, as far as I have been this afternoon. As far as the W13 is concerned, I can't wait until the season has run its course and this car can really just go in the bin because Sector 1 it came alive. I'll admit, didn't matter what compound of tires, even with the brake change at the beginning of the race, which it's amazing that they actually had to go through that whole process with the brakes where it's almost as if this team doesn't know how to run a clean weekend with its parts or really just can't catch a break right now. I'll just say that. Things that they just can't catch a break. But Sector 2 really just destroyed any chance Lewis had of keeping any kind of advantage over anybody in one of those Red Bulls, much less when it came to being in wheel-to-wheel combat. He did all he could when Max passed him to stay within that 1 second, but it was painfully apparent that once Max went by, the best that Lewis could fight for was second. And it was touched on by you, Thanos, earlier that if it wasn't for the pit stop going awry, which is a very rare error from Red Bull of all teams, of a pit stop going wrong, especially as horrendously wrong as it went right there, it's doubtful that we would have gotten to see the race that we saw anyways. But at the end of the day, a lot of this lies with the way that this car has been developed. One can wonder if they've taken the lessons that they've learned from this car and also unlocking the engine pace that they say that they've not been able to extract because of the fact that they've not been able to get as used to the E10 fuel as some of the other teams. But one way or the other, yeah, they've got to really, make whatever changes that they're going to make in the offseason work if this team's going to become competitive again, because it's obvious by looking at the way Lewis has not only run his races ever since the experiments ended earlier this year in Canada, but this race, if you're just going to use any one race to just pick from recency bias, it's painfully obvious that if Lewis is given the right car, he's not forgotten how to drive at a world championship level, at his level. And it's painfully obvious that, Max Verstappen and company over there at Red Bull, especially if they wind up getting slapped on with the sanctions that they deserve for breaching the cap, in 2021, that Mercedes is going to be fighting for much more than just second place at best when the time comes. So one has to wonder on that if they've got their stuff going. But, yeah, just point for me, really sucks for guys like Sebastian Vettel, Yeah, it
No,
really
I
sucked
don't.
to see that.
I don't have no sympathy for Seb. Whatever he gets, he gets. Sorry. After his comments yesterday, talking about they shouldn't take by the time. I have no sympathy
I
for Seb.
agree. I agree. I
This
agree.
whole Suez thing that
Suez died to
people
me when he
used to
made
go
those
in like,
comments.
yeah.
Suez died to me when he made those comments. So I
But
mean,
there's
him
one thing
and
I do.
Toto and it's.
There's one thing I do counteract though. I think he was better in Sector 2 than he was in Sector 1. Because
Lewis?
Yes, he was. Because if you watched,
I don't know.
Yeah, because most of the time he gained back on Max was in Sector 2, not in Sector 1.
Well, towards the end of the stint, it looked like Max was
He was
definitely
gaining
kind
on
of.
Mass on
Yeah,
Sector 1 too.
Sorry, yes,
So
that's
Sector
Sector
1
1.
sector was very good.
Yeah,
Sector
that's
2 is
Sector
where
1.
Mass was destroying him
Yeah,
completely.
Sector 2 was when Max was getting them down the back stretch.
From the exit of turn 1, to that short run down to the back straight. Yeah, he was. Yeah, that is part Sector 1. Sorry, yeah, you're right. He was easily taking out maybe sometimes 2-3 tenths easily out of him in that section. So.
Gotcha. If I could make one last comment real quick,
Right,
just to go off on the whole Suez dying from those comments that Seb made. Yes, Toto Wolff. Honestly, we need to hold his feet to the fire to an extent on that, because him saying what he said with regards to the full extent of what can be done on how well he's been willing to fight. I mean, it really pains me to not see Toto, kicking and screaming in the sense of. I mean, we know that the brand of Mercedes means so much to him and that he's trying to protect that. But at the same time, protect the driver that helped you build that brand in Formula One to the level that it's been.
I think people are giving Toto a hard bargain here. At the end of the day, Toto understands the system and he knows they're not gonna change the results. So to him, it's kind of like a pointless argument to keep going on saying.
He can still fight to a point where it'll never happen again, especially to one of his drivers, since his driver's the one that is
Toto was basically repeating what Lewis said himself. Lewis said he knows his fans are what they're saying, but he's already looking forward, not behind. I think that was what Toto was just trying to say. I don't think he said anything different.
No. Lewis did not say that. Let's not misquote him.
No.
He said he has all the faith in FIA that they will do the right thing. He's just looking forward.
No. We watched different interview. There was an interview Lewis did. He was asked about that. He said he knows he has a lot of active fans. He loves his fans, but that he's looking to the future.
And then when he was asked specifically about it, I think it was the same interview, and he said that he has all the faith in FIA that they will do the right thing.
That was in regard to the cost cap. I think that was what he was referring to. I don't think it was about the Abu Dhabi thing.
No, it was.
That was what he was saying.
It was.
Abu Dhabi?
Yes. The one way he said it was bringing back feelings.
Abu Dhabi result has already been released. I think, okay, maybe maybe I missed it. And what I think I heard was him talking about Abu Dhabi. He said he's only looking forward, not the past. But the other part, I didn't think I heard.
I think he was talking about with regards to the sanctions that could come down with how
exactly. That was what he was saying. He thinks, he trusts the FIA to do the right thing there. That was the cost. The cost cap was where he said that. As regard to Abu Dhabi, he said he was looking forward. That's what I heard. I don't think.
That came within response on him talking about the penalties that could potentially impact the results of last year, as opposed to of course impacting what's going on in the current and in the future. And he gave that response saying that he's looking ahead, but at the same time he is looking at the FIA, and he put his faith in Ben Sulayem to do the right thing. That's basically where he went with that. He was looking ahead, but at the same time he said he was confident in the FIA and Ben Sulayem to do the right thing.
Yeah, I just think people giving Toto a hard time.
I think his faith is misplaced, but that's just me.
Sorry, you think it's what?
I think his faith in MBS, Mohammed Ben Sulayem, is misplaced, considering what we did.
I don't think Luis is misplaced. Actually, yes. I don't trust that much to do right.
I think at the end of the day, what they're saying is just for political speech. I just want to sound like they're saying the right thing, but I'm assuming behind closed doors they're probably saying something completely different, but they're just running with a mantra like.
So what going? Is this for an internal conversation or something?
Dude, meet your mic. We're gonna come back. You're gonna get your chance. All right. Who was it? It was E after Star Charger.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go back onto the point where you guys were arguing about the whole George situation. It's not George's fault, innit? You shouldn't have got a 5-second penalty for that. Like, Sainz, you should know his second place is the first lap of the race. Like, just go off the track, innit? They don't look at first lap incidents anyways. So you can go off the track and regain your position. Like, I don't know why he has to turn back in. He clearly was trying to turn back in to get a more of a straight line on Max. So he's trying to get more of a straight line speed on Max, but it just didn't work out and he spun out like an idiot. Shouldn't do that.
He was on the track. He was on the track. Where's he supposed to go?
No, but Kingsley, you know exactly what he was trying to turn back in so he gets a more of a straight line.
But he was still on the track. He wasn't off track.
Exactly.
So
no. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he could have done that off the track. He could just go straight on. No one's gonna look at it.
George has locked up his front tire before.
Yeah, but there's no way George can go.
George locked up because Sainz hesitated. If Sainz made a decision either to go inside or outside immediately, no one would have gone into him.
But the thing is, here's what I don't understand. I don't get what you guys are saying because Sainz was clearly in P2 because he had lost the start. Max went into the first corner with no one beside him. So Sainz was pretty much on his own in P2. So I don't get what you're saying he should have done differently.
No, but what I'm saying is, Thanos, he comes back in to get more of a straight line, but it clearly doesn't work out because there's someone there.
You can't blame him for that.
You can't run it.
What the hell?
You can't if he hesitates.
You can. Yeah, but you can't hesitate and just come back in.
If you go on board with him, you can see him hesitating, and that's when George thinks there's an opening. George only goes in there.
There's no way George gets 5-second penalty for that.
But if he hesitates, you still can't blame him for hesitating.
Exactly, because your driver in front of you is hesitating, you run into him.
Yeah, but where can George go though? Where can George go? George is racing someone beside him.
George is gonna go there. If you open the door and then
100%.
close it,
And it's also lap one.
then you will crash into the one behind you. It's as simple as that. Sainz is partly to blame, and
if the driver in front of you is running. I don't see why you run into him.
Given how that corner is, and given the fact that George was on the inside on the left hand side, so his angle of approach to that corner was a tighter approach compared to Sainz. So he was never going to get to the point where he could turn so tightly that he could avoid that situation. His trajectory was always going to be aiming towards the outer edge of the track.
George lost control of the car a bit. He lost control of the car a bit.
He lost control of
the car. 100% he did.
It's no different.
Yes,
that's why he went so wide.
Open. All I'm saying is Sainz left the door open, and if you leave it open, George will see it as an opportunity. If the door wasn't open, George would have never been in the first place. And if we're honest, Lewis didn't get a great start either.
More of a racing incident
in front of Lewis.
But if the door, you can leave the door open, but it's up to you to make sure you go through the door safely, right?
Even at the same time, you can leave the door open, but you don't expect someone to turn back in, innit?
No,
like, I hear it. It's a racing incident, but
I'm like, on this side.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Sainz was in front. Even if Sainz
and also, Panos, he should know it's the first lap.
To make sure you go.
I know, but he should know it's the first lap, though.
Huh?
Sainz should know it's the first lap. But man, I'm gonna be scatty. They're just gonna be everywhere. Like, people are gonna do it. Like,
we can all talk about responsibility, but who's out and who scored points?
He was in second position. He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't think George was going to come back like a missile. Lost control of his car, ran into him at the middle. I don't know why we're arguing this, honestly, because it's 100% George.
Sainz is always going to bottle it. Sainz always bottles it.
You can make that case.
Guys, you cannot defend Sainz on this one. I'm sorry, I'm not happy.
He's a bozo. He had a bozo.
I don't think he was at fault at all. He wasn't at fault.
No, even then, George doesn't deserve that 5-second penalty. He doesn't.
Oh, he deserved. He deserved more than. The reason why it was
Kingsley, you're only saying that because you're racing.
The reason why it was 5 was because it was the first lap incident. If that happened in the second, third lap, it would be more than that, I think so.
No, wait, George only makes that move because it's the first lap. That's what I'm saying. Like, people move scatty on the first lap. You just try to get any position you can.
All right, then.
What do you mean that only happened because it was the first lap? If my grandma had wheels, she would have been a bike. We can't.
Well, not
you
necessarily.
can't keep just making up scenarios. It
She could have been a wheelbarrow. She could have been a car.
All my argument is it's a racing incident. Like, he doesn't deserve a 5-second penalty for that.
Anyway,
that's your opinion. I think he deserves more.
I think the penalty was Josh probably a bit lenient in some ways, but
that's where I stand.
What? More than that,
he retired from the race, dude.
Yeah, but it's still Sainz's fault for turning in.
He retired from the race again. He was ahead.
Watch that on board again. Watch it.
If he's ahead of you, and you're the one doing the overtaking, it's your responsibility to make sure you do it safely.
Clearly, yes.
If you create,
I hear it, Thanos, but you don't expect
scored points.
It's the rules. It's the rules of the game. If I'm in front of you and you're going to overtake me, you have to make sure you do it safely. It's not my responsibility to decide to make sure.
You don't cut me off though, but he's cut George off though.
He did not cut
when
him
he
off.
cut off, who did he block? He didn't block anyone. He was on the racing line. What are you saying?
Anyway, let's move. I've got people holding their hand up. And Anthony, go on.
Anthony.
All right, go on, Varun. Varun. What's going on with these people? All right, then, Vims. Everybody's gone to sleep. All right, Vims, go on. Vims. Oh, for frick's sake. All right, this cat rocks. Let's last try.
Hello.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God.
Someone's with us.
I just want to say, the driver Dave for me is Lewis, because the fact that he was able to drive that car into the top of the race and stay there for so long, it just goes to show that if he had a decent car, he definitely could have won today. And I think that he just had an absolutely amazing race. And to all them people who think that Russell can outdrive Lewis, look at today. He cannot.
I mean,
Good night.
it wasn't even today we needed to look at. We knew that was the case from the start of the season, but
they've been running up their gums for weeks. Yeah, so watch the masterclass, watch the masterclass and the experience and the talent combined.
What's that? George has only finished in front of Lewis since Canada. What? Where did he finish in front of him? Zandvoort and where else? Zandvoort and I think
Belgium when Lewis didn't finish.
Spa and
them Sky people today all morning, they was getting on my nerves.
Which 5 people?
Sky.
Oh.
Sky.
Oh. Well, people.
Sky completely ignoring that Lewis had to go through the experiments.
Him the whole morning. I said, "Are you people okay?"
I mean, at the end of the day, it's George is the new guy in the team, so they're gonna present the information in a way that it's sided in his direction, because you listen to his post-qualifying interview yesterday, and they keep asking him the same question, about how does it feel to be beating Lewis, and the one thing I will say to him, he hasn't risen to the bait to
absolutely
to praise it. Yeah, it feels wonderful. He basically just said, look, at the end of the day, we're fighting for P5 and P6. It don't really mean nothing to us, and and it's not like Lewis has been driving poorly. He's just had some bad luck here and there, because he lost 3 podiums due to safety cars. So take that out the equation. Hello.
You went quiet for a bit.
Sorry.
It went off for a moment.
Phone call. I just got a phone call. Yeah. So, but what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. Somebody next. All right. Varun. Let's try Varun again.
Varun has gone to sleep.
Vim's gone to sleep and Anthony's gone to sleep. Right? Because these guys have just gone quiet.
Anthony's watching the replay of Arsenal game, so he's still mad at it.
Can I just say, I'm gonna make a comment. Americans, we need to stop it with the gimmicks. I'm begging you, please. It is just, I'm telling you, right? F1 is already a show. We concentrate on motor racing. I'm starting to sound like, what's his name? Whatever. But we need to concentrate on the racing. The gimmicks are really cringy. And the national anthem, let's not go there. Let's just have it like a normal professional singer who knows the notes and can hit the notes. And it's a national anthem. It's nothing fancy.
You're a bit harsh.
Honestly.
You're a bit.
No, I'm just saying, it's very cringy.
Don't forget the fat flag into turn 1 as well. Nowhere else you see this. Only in America.
What's
Whoa,
that
whoa,
about?
whoa, hold on. I'm Texan. I'm American, and I'll just tell you right now, lay off the flags. I'll just tell you right now, lay off the flags.
I love it. There's so patriotic.
Lay off the
It's a
flags.
little bit
Come on
cringe.
now.
Showed me how the wind was blowing. I could tell the direction of the wind and the way it was going. So I didn't really like the flag. How it was big and
Star
huge.
Charger, can you say it was not cringe?
No.
The gimmick you did.
The what bit?
All the gimmicks they were trying to pull out.
What major gimmicks did you? I didn't catch the majority of the pre-race. The main things I was focused on was Lewis Hamilton's brakes getting changed. But what happened in the pre-race that you didn't really approve of? I saw the national anthem, and it could have been. It wasn't the best one that I've heard by far. It definitely wasn't the best rendition of the anthem I've ever heard. It wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best by any stretch. I agree. That could have been done better. But what else happened?
It was better than Carl Lewis's version. That's that much.
Oh, the whole Shaq delivering the trophy and out of it. I was like, come on, man, you don't have to do that.
I mean, Shaq is already like a legend. He could just stand there holding it. It doesn't need to be in that whole bull-looking thing. Anyway, going off racing, but it's just, F1 is exciting enough. No need for gimmicks.
Well, they said
the gimmicks happen from the FIA as we know it.
But Ruby, remember,
That's true.
They said
come on now.
They said they want F1 to be a show, so gimmicks is part of the show. You have to, get fans interested and start razzmatazz. So, hey, it's in America. When in America, those the Americans do.
You got to remember, it's in Liberty Media's backyard. They're going to put on a show.
Yeah. All right, and Will, what's up?
All right, Kingsley, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Anthony.
You missed it. You missed it. Your spot in the queue. You're gonna have to go back to the back of the line. Yo, Will.
Kingsley, raise your hand if you can hear me.
Dude, you missed your slot in the queue, so you have to go to the back of the line. Will, go on.
Right. So what's this now? So
dude, go to the back of the line. Go to the back of the line. Will, go on.
I don't think.
Wait, can he hear you? He can't hear you, Thanos.
Yeah, I think.
Anthony, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can't hear Thanos. It's like.
All right. So we got to you, and you didn't answer. So we're gonna go to Will, and then we'll come back to you. I think that's what Thanos is saying.
All right, go on, Will.
Yeah. Okay. So I just want to say, like, I don't know about y'all, but I found that race frustrating on my end because of it's getting frustrating watching Lewis try his best, but knowing that car doesn't have it. Like the car is not there. No matter how much he tries, that Red Bull is always gonna catch up, and it's always gonna pass. They made it interesting by the poor pit stop they had, but then again, it was inevitable that they are gonna catch up. Other than that, there's nothing much. I'm just getting frustrated that every time Lewis will try or Mercedes themselves will try, we just don't have the pace to, get going.
Yeah, but today I think again the opportunity only arose because Red Bull messed up Max's pit stop. Outside of that, he was never in the running to actually win the race. He was just racing for P2 at best.
So, do you think if he had mediums, it would have been better?
No, because the Red Bull just is genuinely the quicker car.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, like, let's say if he had the mediums, he would have been faster than he was on the hards.
I don't think.
So probably the gap would have been bigger, or Red Bull would have taken time to catch up.
That's what I mean. Sorry, I don't think he would have been faster with the mediums, because if you concentrated, I think that was like lap 15 to lap 23. Yeah. In as much as Lewis did mention that the tires are he did complain that they're a bit slippery and they keep on giving him problems. That's why even when he took a pit stop, the second pit stop, we were all confused, like, why are you doing this? You complained about the medium tires, but you still went on hard. If you noticed, Austin, the weather wasn't good for, like, literally, I knew no one was going to be in the soft tires because the weather wasn't good for that. Everyone is going to be in medium or hard. And I feel Lewis performed way better with the hards than in the mediums. Yes, because if you recall, when he was in the mediums, the gaps were like 4, 6 seconds, 5. But when he got into the hard, and when he hit the second pit stop for the hard, the gaps were so minimal. It was 1.6,
0 point something. Like, let's be honest, guys.
Yeah, and his tires actually went off.
Yeah,
his
they went off.
went off.
Yeah, let's be honest.
So imagine if he was on the mediums, they would have gone off much
if he
earlier.
was on
And
the mediums, he would he was never gonna compete on the. No matter, it doesn't matter what compound of tires you put. He's on. You put the Mercedes on.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
Yeah,
I do agree with that.
Thanos is speaking.
It doesn't matter the compound of tires you put the Mercedes on. Compared to the Red Bull, it's no match. It's just not a match. You're talking about.
Okay, can I say something about that?
They're losing at least.
I do agree with.
Do you think they're gonna take P2 in the standings?
Sorry,
no.
In the constructors.
No.
They're too far off.
I do agree with the previous speaker. Mercedes has had a difficult time this season overall. Let's just be honest. From the beginning, we had preposition problems, we had the floor problems, we had very bad pace. But if you've noticed, even engine degradation, Mercedes is a list, meaning we are improving. We are improving at a slow pace, but we're not going to improve at the pace. We haven't done that. That's why most of us were on our toes, Mercedes fans, when Lewis was actually leading. We were all hoping Charles holds Max still, because we know a fact. I'm a Mercedes fan, but I know for a fact that Red Bull has pace. Like, that Red Bull has pace. It has pace. So no matter what compound of tire was, we just hoped Charles could hold on, like hold Max, and let just Lewis have Austin. But honestly speaking, today he drove so brilliantly, so amazing. I was smiling throughout the race. Like, Lewis did a great job.
Yeah, I think
Mercedes really needs to work on pace.
Yeah,
and I feel like next season we're gonna have that.
I think next.
When you were smiling, I was peeling off my nails.
I had a migraine. A serious, and I had stopped watching at some point.
I'm looking
because I was just praying, like, Charles, do us a solid, crash Max or something.
I was just looking at the lap counter, like how many laps left, and then I'm like, oh god, a lap takes like 100 seconds.
Is Thanos speaking?
A lap takes like
he is.
A lap takes like
so why can't I hear him?
Because
he has
Thanos.
I can hear you, Ruby, but I cannot hear Thanos.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, but anyway, who was it after?
I think it was Anthony next. So Anthony.
Yeah, I'm here. No, it was a good job by the team. I was just listening to Toto's interview about for next season, and obviously they're not bringing any more upgrades to the car. That's the upgrades finished now for this season. So I'm just hoping. Mexico is going to be a very interesting track, but I'm just hoping for next year that, like the last speaker was saying, that in terms of the pace, that they do have fundamental pace to challenge Red Bull, because from what I'm seeing at the present moment is that Red Bull are untouchable by the FIA, and
not going in the FIA again.
I think they should just scrap the budget cap.
Yeah, I think so too. That budget cap.
I really think they should scrap this budget cap, because from the way it's looking at the present moment, Red Bull, if they get reduction of the CFD, will that do anything? When they have technical demand who is gifted in Adrian Newey, you know what I'm saying? He's been there for how many years, and he used to be with McLaren Mercedes back in the day. If people didn't know that.
They had Adrian Newey doing the 8-year run.
Thanos, he can't hear you, so this is going to be difficult. And
which is why I'm talking, because you can't hear me.
Oh my god!
I feel like just let Anthony finish.
So it's not hearing you, Thanos. So why are you talking?
Like I was saying yesterday, I don't see anything happening to Red Bull significantly. If I do, I'll be shocked. I know Thanos Terran said that Red Bull have backed themselves. The FIA backed themselves in a corner, but they won't set a precedent, and it's looking like Red Bull can't get away with murder. You know, they've breached the rules, and nothing serious is going to happen to them, which it just shows to the whole world that Red Bull are untouchable. Now, whether they're in bed together or something more else is going on.
Moved on from Red Bull and the
I wish they had it in. I wish there was an independent body who can challenge the FIA going forward because
Anthony.
Yeah, it's getting me on the job. It really is like you cheat to win, and we here as spectators are just looking at it like, you know, what's the deal? Like, you know what I'm saying? You could see everyone else is,
Ruby.
you know, they've kept within the budget, and you can see everything going. But with Red Bull,
not even hearing me.
It's just like they're just miles ahead, and just like they breached it. So
Ruby, you're the co-host.
You're not going to give them the
Anthony. I have to act like Chinese whispers. So Thanos is saying, Thanos is basically, he's been crying in the background, saying we've moved on from the Red Bull issue.
Okay. Okay, guys, I have a question.
Her Majesty, wait. Her Majesty, don't make me mute you. I'm trying so hard not to mute anyone. Okay. So Thanos was saying in the background, he was crying and saying that we've moved on from the Red Bull issue.
I wish I could hear him crying, but yeah, no problem. No, like I said, as I was saying, nothing
he's going back to
can be done. You know, today was good. You know, we showed up, we're competitive. Let's go into Mexico. Is it next weekend? Is Mexico?
Yeah.
Let's go into next weekend. Let's carry on, and we can just take it from there. Let's see how much points you get. So let's see if Red Bull and Ferrari can take at each other in the next couple of races, and we just snatch P2. If we can get P2, I'll be happy with that. The more see it more time in the wind tunnel for next season. But I'm happy. I'm happy with today's performance, man. There's nothing more that can be said about it. You know, Lewis drove a good race. Russell, I don't even want to comment on that first lap incident. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is with him. But
Ruby, do your job.
It's all good.
Do your job. Ruby, do your job.
Anyway, that's to me.
Thanks, Anthony. Okay, who is next, Thanos? Thanos, who is next?
If we want,
I'm about to go. I'm about to go. Can I just
B3? No, you can't jump the queue, dude. Keep it.
He's got a quick point.
All right, what's your quick point? Go on.
As I said, I was gonna say before I go, what a move from Sebastian! What a great race weekend from a lot of drivers this weekend. And if you guys believe that Lewis could have won that race, even if he had mediums, you're wrong. Like you got to keep it real with yourself.
No one.
You got to keep it real. I see a lot of people on
I said it. I still believe it.
Come on, man, be realistic, bro. Like he just hasn't got the car in it. Like clearly, he can win a race, of course, but he just hasn't got the car in it. So it's not possible.
I do agree. Like the pace, we lack pace. Mercedes lacks the pace. They fixed all the other problems, but they haven't fixed the pace position. Just good on the corners. We're not good on the fast. We're not good on the straight. We're not good on anything. That's why I said Lewis is a brilliant driver because with all the bad circumstances, he still manages to get ahead of himself. Like that's just a fact.
And also, can we talk about how he gave Max more of a headache in this one race?
Yeah, that was amazing.
All right, E, for a quick point, this is dragging. Okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I still don't get why Vettel got driver of the day.
Okay.
Hold on, Her Majesty. Sid had his hand up.
Yes, you're gonna have to keep your hand up.
Sid?
Yes, I have my hand up and I'm very
What the hell was that?
No, I didn't do that. Can somebody
sounded like
that?
It sounded like a cartoon.
Sound like a sound effect. Anyway,
the olden cartoons, man. Like Bugs Bunny.
Let's get
was
serious
some kind of a cartoon
because I'm shutting the stream
I
down.
think it was me. I think it was me making a kangaroo noise.
How did you do that? Can you show?
How do you make kangaroo noise?
Yeah.
What the?
Why,
do we have a
new feature? Why are you making kangaroo noise? Okay.
Right, back to F1.
What the hell, man?
Dude, I think something is wrong with the space, man. I think.
All right, go on, Sid.
Okay. I think we can carry on with the kangaroo noises. I'm not making those noises, so please don't cut me off the space.
Get your point going, dude. Come on.
Dude, I got a chance after such a long time. You can't rush me through this point, man. Just let it go out, man. I've been patient. So, I mean, all I wanted to say that I just want to puke on that W13 car. I really want to puke on that car, but because seriously, man, that car has absolutely no pace. I mean, we had the luck, we had all the luck today. Of course, but not with the safety car, but of course with the pit stop, we had so much luck. It was looking like Charles would not be able to catch Lewis. I wish his mediums started wearing off so that Lewis could have increased the gap, but his mediums were also not giving up. So it's really frustrating, man, to see him so close to get that win and maintain that record of winning every race in the Formula One season he's competed. I just don't have good words about that car, man. Just nothing good to say about the car. It's all the driver. It's all about the driver.
Right, I'm gonna have to criticize you here because I don't believe in luck, and I actually think that I'm not one to actually I guess criticize or say anything good about W13, but she did try her best today. Okay, she's not the best, I'll give you that, but she did try. She was still faster than the second Red Bull. She was still faster than
No,
the
no, just
Charles
it
Leclerc.
wasn't. The data doesn't say that. It was all the driver. It was all the driver. Lewis Hamilton managed to do the fastest sector one because he was the fastest man to maneuver through the S's. He was very good
But
in his
it
entry
is
and
also
his
fast
just
in the
just let me complete.
S's.
Let me
It's
just
partly
complete
the
on that.
car. Guys,
Just
we
let me
can't
complete on that.
discredit.
Just
Lewis
let me
can't
complete on
walk.
that. Just
Lewis
let me
can't
complete
walk
on that.
the
Yeah,
whole
but
circuit,
Sid,
okay?
No, just let
He
me
has
complete
to be
on that.
sitting in something. Okay.
Guys,
Sid,
one at a time.
one at a time. But Sid, to
Yeah,
say that,
so let me
Sid.
complete on that.
Oh God.
Sid, puke on it.
I
Look,
I
look,
want to. I really want to.
you look. Look, don't let me get serious on you. Or don't let me start getting mean again. I want you all to behave yourselves, please.
Okay, Ruby, you can make your point and then maybe I can counter it. Yeah.
Didi,
Okay.
whatever you are
I
using,
was going
please,
to say. I was going to say actually I think that W13 was much better today. It wasn't. It still was far away from where we needed to be, but it was much better. And we have to give it to them for strategy as well because they actually did
Oh my God!
undercut.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Wait!
I know. There's no need to make a big deal out of it.
Did you just praise Mercedes for strategy? Oh my
This
God!
race, yes.
Oh my
Specifically
God!
this race,
Oh,
yes.
it's a good thing I recorded. This one is recorded because I'm keeping this for eternity because you just praised Mercedes for strategy.
Yes,
You
I did. Which is why I'm saying it wasn't luck. I actually think the W13 was much more drivable for Lewis this weekend, but also our strategy was much better. That's why I was thinking it's not luck.
the W13 you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. So that's the W13.
It's a
What?
pretty pig. It's a pretty pig.
W13 is a donkey.
It's still a pig. It's still a
It's a
pig.
pretty pig. Would you rather have an ugly pig?
Now my turn. Now the thing was, Perez had a damage on his car and he was still faster. Charles had a 12.
No, he wasn't.
He
No,
was
he
faster.
wasn't.
No,
No, he
he
wasn't.
He
wasn't.
was
No,
No,
he
faster.
wasn't.
He was
was
No, he
faster
faster.
in
wasn't.
the last stage when you
No,
put
he
on
He
the
was
wasn't.
medium. He was
fast in
faster.
certain
Oh
sections.
my God. Oh God. People, I'm gonna mute everybody. Stop it. Stop talking over people, please. Even though I'm the only person who's allowed to talk over people because I'm Thanos.
I'm going to talk over you.
Did he?
Yeah, Didi is able to do that. I want to learn how she is able to do that.
I swear, me too.
Oh, did he behave yourself, please? Did he behave?
But she's making it
I feel like
lively. I
we've
actually
all
like
lost it.
it.
It was like a stressful
Lively.
she
race.
can behave, but she can teach us how to do all those sounds first.
Anyway, come on. Let's hurry and get
Yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah.
race because I
So
have to
I
get
just
up
want to
early tomorrow.
make just counter the point with Ruby saying I don't think the car is that good enough. Still, it has a lot of work to be done. It's all about the driver. It was all Lewis. It was his talent which was able to do the fastest first sector whenever he was driving that car.
Yeah, but if the car isn't in a position that allows him to express his talent, then you can't just say it's Lewis. I mean, no, come on, you have to look. The Mercedes has come a long way from what we saw in the first race of the season, so we can't really, whilst we can be pissed off and angry, you have to give them credit. They've
Yeah, I
actually been
agree.
able
I
to
agree.
improve the package substantially to the point where they've actually closed the gap to themselves. They've closed the gap to Ferrari and Red Bull. Granted, it's not to Red Bull. It's not to the pit.
It's not noticeable, right? To Red Bull, it's not that noticeable. To Ferrari, definitely yes.
Yeah, but it's not noticeable because it's not big enough. But it's still an improvement. It's better than nothing. So they've actually separated themselves. Because remember, for the first couple of races, you were wondering, will they ever make it out of Q1? Will they make it into Q2? You know, people were saying, oh, Mercedes is their competitors is McLaren and the Alfa Romeo. But no, you genuinely think, well, they can actually genuinely out-qualify and out-race one of the two top teams, top cars.
The drivers.
I mean, Thanos, I do agree with you with the points you're making. Obviously, Mercedes have made a lot of progress, but today, if it's just about today, it was a lot to do with Lewis, the way he drove, his exit into the corner and exit from the corners. It was really him. And do you have to agree that Sainz getting a retirement, Leclerc getting a penalty, and Perez also getting a penalty did help his help as well.
But Sid, if the car doesn't allow him to express that talent, you can't just say it's him. The car has to be there for him to be able to do what he does. So we can't just say it's
I think he's just saying that the difference today is Lewis, right?
Obviously.
Yeah, the difference was the driver. It wasn't the car as much as the driver.
W13 any ovation in this. That car is not good. Lewis was just the
that
one
car.
pulling it around the track.
Seriously, you do want to advocate, and everybody would advocate that Mercedes have made a lot of progress, but dude, it's still not enough, man.
I'm sorry. Was the W13 not on provisional pole at some point yesterday?
It was in Hungary.
It was on pole in Hungary.
It was in Hungary.
Exactly. So it has actually come a long way. I honestly think, guys, that we get so caught up on calling it such a bad car, such a wheelbarrow or whatever we call it, that we don't actually recognize all the improvements that come with it. And people are working very hard. I can't believe I'm defending Mercedes because I'm not even anyway. But I think
you're being held at gunpoint.
But you know the ability of this car to behave in a different way on different tracks really doesn't help. If you want to have a championship car, you need to build a car which is suitable for all the tracks.
But the championship is gone. It's gone. We know we're never going to get close. It's
as
gone.
Much as we want to despise Red Bull and we hate Red Bull so much and the team that worked on, but they have made a fucking really good car which is capable of. I hate to say this. I really hate to say this.
Wasn't me.
I really hate to say that. It's really frustrating to see that their car can work on all the tracks. Really frustrating.
Look, Sid, Mercedes won 8 championships in a row. No team's ever done that in history. The idea that they've suddenly forgotten how to design a quick car doesn't stack up. Okay, they got it wrong.
I think that's why we have the faith, right? Next season they'll come back.
Hold on, guys. But is that not what happened? Someone's going to get it right in a regulation change. Someone's going to get it wrong. Red Bull got it wrong in 2014. Red Bull got it wrong in 2017. Red Bull got it wrong in 2019. They got it right this year. I mean, it's just one of them things.
They got it right based on overspending, obviously.
Well, either way,
you can't deny that, man. You don't know how much of the budget they're using on this season.
They got it right. Mercedes got it wrong. It's just one of them things. It's up to Mercedes now to make sure that what the W14 brings them back into the game. And if you listen to what
it should be 5 seconds faster than ever that car. Bring them to the game.
Okay, 5 seconds.
No, Thanos, on the real note, I agree with you. I think that's the faith we have.
But if you listen to what's coming out from George, Lewis, Mike, and all these people, they seem to have figured out what the issue was with. Well, they did say they know what it was. It's something that they built in. So it's a matter of undoing that part and then building on what they've learned from this. Because whilst it's a pig, there's some good qualities to it. There's some good qualities to the W13 that they can bring to the W14. And one
No,
of those.
I mean, if they can nail the zero pod concept, it'll be great. It'll be really fast in the short corners.
It's not the pod. Forget the pod. It's not
Why
the
people keep
pod.
talking about a side
Forget about
pod?
the pod.
Jesus, the issue is it's more of a suspension software.
I think it's more of suspension on chassis. I think that they will have to face that chassis. It's not getting.
Come on.
And what about the drag? The issue they have with the drag.
Look. Let's just. At the end of the day, they said they know what the problem is. I saw on Friday. I posted a clip of it. Anthony Davidson, they were talking, and Scruffy asked him, what does he think about will Mercedes come out with a package that can, make them competitive enough with the Ferrari and the Red Bull next year to be title contenders? And he said, yes. He literally said, I'm confident, yes, they will. So, and he's their sim driver. So he knows what's going on within the factory. So
no offense, but that's all bullshit.
No, it's bullshit.
You can't say we don't have a car and next season is going to be horrible for us when you've had a horrible car this season. No one will show up for work. You have to say, yes, we're building onto something and we will be very competitive next year. We just have to see the car. To me, it's
I have to
bullshit.
agree with Thanos here. They have done a lot of data collecting and they have done a lot of experimenting.
Data collecting.
The word really pisses off everybody.
Me off.
I think that word really pisses off. I think we should use some other word for it. But I think there is reason to be optimistic or to be hopeful next season.
George, if you listen to George, Toto, and Lewis, you would know that they actually have a direction they want to go next year. But as opposed to this year, when they were actually bullish at the beginning, when Lewis was saying my team doesn't make mistakes and whatnot, I think they are more cautiously optimistic this time around. Like Thanos said, they actually know, basically, they know what the fault is and what they need to work on for next year car. I think that's where all of the energy is channeled towards right now.
They're all PR machines. Yeah. Anyway, shall we go back to Hans? Sorry. Who was next? Diddy?
I don't think I would love to go next, but I think Vim.
Just go on. You got picked.
Fine. Well, since we were just talking about that, I definitely have felt a shift in the kind of just to feel the shift. I can't really exactly put it into words, into what I've been seeing coming out from the team and just in general the vibes this week. Like even just as someone just said, the whole "we don't make mistakes" statement right at the beginning of the year. That was very much kind of like, it was bold, it was brazen, but it was wrong. Like
hopeless is dangerous.
Well, you can't say they were wrong because he has reasons why he said that. They just won the 8th straight title, so it's a belief system that he has that
it was a red change.
But it was wrong. He said my team don't make mistakes, and this week was the first time Lewis has actually said that I've heard him say, unlike the beginning of the year, we do. And I kind of almost feel like that was kind of like so I've let that go. I've let that
correct
go.
it. Yeah, correct that statement. That's what he wanted to do. Exactly.
And actually, it's fine to make mistakes, but you can only sometimes admit that once you know what you're like. I feel like he wouldn't have said that unless he knew that there's something now to look forward to like that. That's just, I don't know, like I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but seeing him say that and certain other things that I've seen being said and just the energy, I just feel like I feel like the tide is turning. I feel like almost that's the karma there, that was the lesson. The plan from the like racing gods or the universe or whatever was, you know what, guys, you've had 8 straight championships, everyone makes mistakes, you've got a bit pushy and comfortable saying we don't make mistakes. I'm going to show you that you have. And now that you've admitted that that's fine, we're going to move on. I just feel like it's different. Plus, I'd just like to say, like, in terms of legal cars, whether you're looking at cost caps or track limits, Lewis won today for me. And I'm just so sad, like somebody said before, like he did. Come on, Max should have been starting at the back of the grid. Where was that? Hello? Why didn't he start at the back of the grid?
Why was he meant to start at the? Why was he supposed to start?
He violated the track limits in Q1, right?
And he had up to 9
He shouldn't even have
left
made
on the
into
clock.
Q2.
Yeah,
if they had flagged it, he would have still done better laps.
His lap should have been deleted.
What the hell is that?
It's Her Majesty. Please mute her, please.
At least teach us how to do that. Yeah, don't do it alone, man.
I feel like only I should have the power to do that. I feel sad.
Yeah, please tell me how to do it.
Look, I'm gonna finish up with everybody whose hands is up. After that, I'm done for the night because I have an early day tomorrow, so I have to get up. So I'm just gonna. So it's gonna. So who's it gonna be here? It's who have I got up? I've got Vims.
What?
Someone's stealing the power.
Did I just make a phone call sound? Yeah, I got it. How to do it? Thanks.
How you did that?
Oh, damn.
Okay, so there is a wand picture, like a magic wand, like a Harry Potter wand picture.
Like,
you go there, and then you can find something called as soundboard, and then you play all the sounds. Yeah, it's irritating now, guys.
Who's
Just
that?
play
Is that
a pleasant one.
Thanos, what are you doing? Ruby, please mute Thanos, please.
Oh shit! You lot in trouble now.
I can't mute him.
Oh, what?
You just should. I think this button will really help the host to
agreed.
That was a mistake.
Thanos,
Look. Can you people stop behave yourselves and stop doing that? Let's act like grown-ups now. Stop acting like children. Act like grown-ups. Damn it. Anyway, so I'm going back to it. So it's gonna be Vims. No, I'm not. I don't want to hear nothing about that stuff. And then Star Charge, and then we're done. Go on, Vims.
Wait, there are more hands up.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say about today's race. I think like Mercedes has done like a good job, like so far. At the beginning of the year, it felt like they were drowning, and now it feels like they're like have learned how to swim properly. And I'm semi proud. Like I think today they couldn't have done much more. Like they were given an opportunity by the slow pit stop, and Lewis was able to hold on for like 10 laps, and they did like amazing. And I think even if we don't get the win this year, I think I'll be like proud of them anyway, because I think they have like learned from their mistakes, and I feel like this year is like a learning curve. Like they're learning how to be more teamworky. Everything, all the kinks are being fixed, hopefully, for next year, except for the pit stops, which seem to be like 2.9, 2.7. Those need to go lower. And that's all.
Okay, cool. All right, then. Thanks, Vims. All right, Star Charger, you have the last say, and then we're done for the night. Go on.
Hey again. It's a very interesting situation that everybody's in right now with what's going on with F1. I mean, will the FIA ever get sorted? Will Red Bull get what's coming to them? Will Lewis get the proper car that he needs? I mean, at this point, it's just all a big old question mark. I mean, will this sport finally get a set of regulations that allow us to really see what's clearly going to happen with race control, with what happens to quality control, scrutineering, budgets, everything else? I mean, it's been passed around so far that, the budget cap at this point, if we don't see what needs to be seen at the end of this whole entire ordeal with the FIA and Red Bull saga, that it should just be scrapped. Well, then I completely agree with that. But at the same point, the whole point of all of this was to make F1 more affordable for everybody. And, that's another thing that I got to wonder about, considering the fact that you've got teams like Andretti wanting to get into the sport right now. And, well, the FIA is kind of giving them the old stiff arm right now on getting involved, even if they were to come involved with Renault, or even if the prospect aligns with them potentially allowing to be involved with Porsche on some extent, with them doing a joint venture. But whatever the case may be, I mean, the sport's in a very do or die move right now. And I agree with the fact that, American media doesn't blow it up a lot more, since it's not exactly, as much of a center point over here as it should be, in terms of, the major figureheads that really talk about sports from day to day over here in America. I mean, until it gets to that point where they can start putting that kind of pressure on the powers that be in the FIA, I mean, Lord knows what kind of change we're going to likely be seeing. But with the way things were done today, just by compartmentalizing today, great effort from Lewis, man. He showed his class, and I've already seen comments online so far from Max Verstappen fans saying straight on that, battles with Lewis Hamilton hit different, that they don't get that kind of thrill whenever they're racing against Charles Leclerc or Sainz or even with Perez or whatever the case may be. They know full well that racing against Lewis is where the action is. And honestly, that race is a good sign that if Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes can get things right back into the way they were during the course of their 8-year run, when they could put all the stars together. I mean, everybody knows what time it is when that arrives. Who knows if it'll happen next year? I'm praying it does, but at the same time, it's good to see so many people over here, at least in this space, that are passionate about what's going on with today's events. And of course, thank you, Thanos, for opening up the space for everybody to go ahead and discuss what's going on. And yeah, it's just going to be a matter of whether or not Mike Elliott, James Allison, and crew can actually get everything sorted with the development of what's going to happen with the W14. And yeah, honestly, we'll have to see what happens also next year with the budget cap for what's gone on for this year, because who knows if Red Bull implemented the same thing that they did last year to this year. And if that's the case, then who knows? I got the feeling that this might not be over until another 12 months from now. And yeah, at this point, I don't really think I've got any faith whatsoever in MBS and the FIA to do what needs to be done, because it seems like one team's playing with a completely different set of rules than everybody else, and they're being allowed to get away with it with impunity. So we'll just have to see what happens. We got another race in Mexico next week. I'm looking forward to it, even though it's one of Mercedes' Achilles heel tracks, historically speaking. But at the same time, I hope it's a good race next week. I hope they get some clarifications on what's going on with that front wing, so that if they can use it, great. If not, if it's something that the FIA is dead set on not letting them use, in spite of the hypocrisy that we've seen so far this year, then yeah, no wahala. The W13, honestly, this car can be set ablaze, and we can just wait until the W14's development comes to fruition, come testing next year. So I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of this whole entire ordeal. But if they get it wrong, at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and take along what Alfred said in The Dark Knight. This is a case of, the FIA or Red Bull not being reasoned, negotiated, bullied, or bartered with, and the FIA and everybody else is just going to be forced to watch this whole thing burn. And, at that point, you might as well just bring your marshmallows and your sticks out.
All right, then, cool, man. All right, then, people. Anyway, it's late. It's past my bedtime. I'm going to end the stream now. Probably, no, I can't do tomorrow because I have an engagement tomorrow. So I'll probably do one in the week.
You're getting engaged tomorrow.
I said I've got an engagement.
Appreciate you, Thanos.
Ruby, behave.
James Allison is in charge of the W14.
Thank God, because I can't take another Michael Elliott bottle job on the next car. I can't.
Apparently they said James is now back working closer with the whole team because he was a bit.
They had to beg him out of retirement. Please come back.
But he wasn't retired. He was.
He was semi-retired. He wasn't moving. So.
No, he wasn't retired. They just created a different position for him.
Mike Elliott took over.
He wasn't really hands-on the way he was. I think he's now hands-on with the W14.
Yeah, he's more hands-on. His position was something about like future technologies. He was
exactly. His position moved.
Yeah. Anyway, all right,
I have a question before we leave.
Oh, James.
How did Lewis not get driver of the day? Like, that's not fair.
Did you vote,
everything?
Vims, did you vote?
Oh no.
Okay, that's why.
I thought other people were gonna vote.
I was too
see how good he was.
I was too panicking with 5 laps to go when it closes. I was still like behind the sofa, like crouching down. I was in no state to vote whatsoever.
All right, then, people. Anyway, it was nice chatting to everyone, and we'll catch up again. Stay safe wherever you're in the world, and don't do the things that I would do. Take it easy. Bye.
Thanks.
Easy.